1:55 in the morning for those zombies. I'm not alive. I'm not awake yet. It's October 5th. Saturday, 2024. A very sleepy Weaver John C. Roseman, California. Mad rush as a college student to get research done in order to get a discussion posted before end of midnight, not to mention a couple other replies. Think out, you think I would have the time for this sort of thing, but apparently leave it at the last second, as some college students I've come across and met do the same thing. Other things happen to take care of priority, and then you have their mad rush and everything. Welcome to the life of a college student. Nothing else gets to be done in the way it should have been done in the first place. The perfect student would have been getting everything else done and no issues, no hassles, nothing like that. Yeah, who said I ever was a perfect student at this point? So, mad rush on compare and contrast of two famous women of the same time period who would probably meet up with each other in one form or circumstance, and yet one would be struggling to continue with her people's right for freedom and emancipation, and then how would they be able to live their own lifestyle? And then flip side of that coin, where and I'm still trying to get into it. But forms and pieces of the abolitionist women's rights movements, not to mention an engine for the Black Lives Matter movement. Compare contrasts of these two dynamic ladies. They're still leaving their mark on the men on the old guard who still think that women should be at home. They got this, I don't know, 200-year mental instability there where women should not be seen and heard. Women should just be there and give kids, and that's about it. The damn political speeches I've been hearing for the past couple of years, and especially when we got into a new Trumplicant VP candidate who's doing the old Quaker routine, or actually the worst routine, that women don't have any rights, not even reproductive rights. We should protect the babies and screw the women's health. And they say their words get twisted around, but when their words get recorded in today's media and medium, when they're presented, they say there's lies, it's lies, it's lies. Well, this is your voice. This is your video. This is your activity. This is who you are. No, no, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's all fake news. It's artificially generated. Ah, you guys are out to get me. Ah. I'm hearing more spoiled brats coming from everybody else than I'm hearing from independent media journalists out there. They're trying to prove a point. They're trying to prove a point of history and being in front of them, and they don't want to see it. They don't want to know about it. They don't want to have anything to deal with it. But they'll call you an outright liar, especially when you bring up the point to them and you have the facts in front of their face. So imagine this kind of thing happening back in the 1800s. I mean, if they had the technology like we had back then, oh boy, would they be in trouble. But they'd be in the same technological and philosophical, I can't even talk right, philosophical um, mindsets that we have right now. And they'll be battling it out. The blacks will be battling it out for their emancipation, not to mention their right to exist, to live like everybody else. Sweat of their own hands, sprouted, strength of their muscles, or strength of their mind, and determination to build a life, build a business, build something. a legacy of sorts. Have that being torn apart because you have these guys who just don't want to see the other guys succeed, regardless of race, color, creed, religion. Doesn't matter. Us versus them mentality. The elitism crap goes on. I've been trying to tell that to other people on social media about this one, even online. I got it. I see these memes coming up left and right, and I'm like, don't you guys ever think about anything else other than this shit?
No, no, we have to do this. We have to generate issues. We have to generate fear. Ah!
It's bad enough when I know people are still putting that crap out, and I'm trying to read into some of the stuff that they're putting out, the pages, uh, without backup of information. Well, this happened and this happened. You gotta trust my word on it. Well, where's the backup? Where's the information? You gotta believe me. Why? You have to believe me. Why? Wasn't I told a long time ago that Wisconsin's actually had this kind of critical thinking level skill here that they challenged? And if they didn't hear what they were hearing, they didn't believe it. If there wasn't any evidence to back it up, it was all fake. So when I'm coming across on social media these days, even from people I know and care about, I'm seeing links to other people that don't back up the crap in the first place. They spew it, but they don't say it. I mean, they don't prove it. And me, they'll think I'm elitist. Why am I elitist? I put out my history out there from my own records, from my own mindset, and I'm trying to tell myself of what I've gone through and how it's relevant to me. But then again, I'm going to have to start looking at it how it's relevant to anybody else for that matter. I mean, I came through public education. I went through elementary schools, two of them, in fact. I went through a junior high and a busing program. I had to go through food stamps in the school for nutrition and lunch so I can be fed. Because food's not cheap back then either when I was going to school. And I went to high school and brown bag of my lunch, and we were close enough I ate my lunch at home. I ate, wolfed, and left. And came back home a few hours later. Of course, I didn't throw up the stuff, only because I made it. Mac and cheese, or peanut butter and jelly, and throw a can of soda or a bottle of water or something like that in there, and then that was lunch. If I could afford lunch, I would have, but I didn't. So I know what it was like to live on food stamps. I know what it was like to live, poor. My mother, I mean, there's a lot of documented information I've got in my videos. I wish I could just, reach back in time and pull the actual paperwork that my mother had to fill out. We never did keep copies back then. We didn't have cameras to do that kind of shit. Like the cameras we got on the phone right now. I got stuff I can do about my own self, but how my mother lived? There was no documentation that I actually could find anywhere concerning about my mother's GR situations. Taking care of my grandmother and aunt a long time ago while taking care of me at a young age. My brother, he didn't go to college. He went to the military. My mother had to deal with the state of California taking care of the two elderly ladies and me. And we lived on food stamps. Actual paperwork. You go into the supermarkets, they have the information stamped, signed off like crazy, and if you had any change from the food, it goes into the cash fund that you use for other things that the food stamps couldn't pay for. But then again, you would also have the extra cash coming from the state. And it wasn't much. You had a budget like crazy. So I know what it's like to live on a GR situation. I also know what it's like to live in an work environment for a long while, struggle like crazy, bounce from place to place, job to job. I know what that kind of situation is. I also know what it's like to hat in hand. You had to keep going over to food places to get food. And not to mention go through a GR system for survival in between jobs. Don't tell me I don't know the struggle. So I'm hearing about these ladies' struggle back then compared to the struggles we have today. Nobody seems to get it unless they've already been through the damn system and I understand what the fuck was going on. I'm not cleaning up the language either. These politicians go into a donut shop, don't even know how to behave. We just started to talk about politics and crap like that. And even one other restaurant that he was going to do the same thing, trying to get his votes, got tossed out on his ear by the owner and managers. They didn't want to hear the shit. They want to serve people the food, let them go in there, eat the food, have private conversations if they wanted to, and leave. But you don't go in there and start spewing off your damn political crap and denigrating people left and right for it. And some of the other people loved it because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about or looking at. And some of the other shit I keep coming across when it comes down for disaster relief, I hear the second or third hand conversations without where's the documentation. You got technology today, the phones, video cameras, even mini cameras. You could take a picture, microphones, pick up information. Even short snippets would have been something. If you're going against the government system, at least it would have something to go against the government. If you had actually had quotes from people, and you had enough witnesses to back it up on paperwork, and not just spewing out the crap. I've seen the people try to spew off the crap without having a backup, so that's why I don't trust and like them. Okay, and have I gone to college? Yes, I had gone to college twice. I also got into a business school once. I've been to an occupational school learning to particular positions. So yeah, I know what going through educational systems are supposed to be, but also learning through life and observing a lot of things also helps as well. Not to mention going to other places for book reading when you can. So there's no excuse in my mind that if you got a library out there, use the damn thing. Use the damn thing. Regardless if it's a school library or it's going to be a public library. You know, a university will, just read the books. Don't do the checkout. Just hang out for a few of you, kid. Where I'm at right now is at a community college. I've been there for nearly 10 years. And because of my status regarding GR, I was actually able to get in. As long as I keep the grades up, I get federal. I get state. As long as I keep the grades up above a C, C and above, I'm doing okay. And I still continue. Even when I get out of high school, I went to college. But I didn't have the grants, I didn't have the loans. I did part-time jobs like crazy. And then I got in. Barely afforded the tuition, let alone the damn used pieces of shit books that were marked, cut up, God knows what else, but they were still usable. But I used them. They were helpful because they're part of the same classes that we all kept utilizing. So the same books were there. They were utilized. Gave us something to work with. There was no shame in it. This is college. This is community college level. I didn't take it seriously when I was a kid back then, but as an adult going through a hell of a lot of crap myself, I go in with a different perspective. I'm going in to get book knowledge. I'm also going in to get life experiences again. I'm going in to keep a promise to myself and to my family. Long since past, God rest their souls, and God bless them. The reason why I have that cabinet there is their ashes are in there. And I made a promise to them. I'll graduate. I don't care if it's the lowest rung in the collegiate level. I don't care. And in places like this, I learned how to really have a critical thinking, really how to analyze things left and right, tear them apart, understand our system of law, our legal system. A lot of things I never knew. Even historical facts and figures I could verify through other knowledge bases. Yeah, I developed elitism in that form of function, critical thinking. So yeah, it makes me pissed off at the other people who don't want to do it or choose not to do it, or they feel like they can't do it. Can't a sluggard too lazy to try? My grandmother usually told me, and she was a school teacher in a one-room school, a long time ago. So she managed. She managed. She was in the era where the women's movement, when they were going to get the 19th Amendment passed. She was there, young kid, teenager, but she saw it. She was part of it. She even marched. Wish I had pictures of it, but I heard stories. Yeah, even generational stories, so they matter as much. So yeah, personal history for me, having the women in history that I can look at and see, whoa, they did that, and who's this person here? Susan B. I heard the name so many damn times I didn't realize who the hell she was. Now I'm reading about it. Now I'm studying about it. Now I'm going through a video tour of it, of what she went through. And yeah, she had a hell of a lot of struggle. But there was other women I'm running into. And this one had even more of a struggle than I even realized. So I got more respect for her. And this is important to me. This matters a great deal. And I should be treating it a hell of a lot better. I need to. Because without the women's rights movement, I wouldn't be where I am. I'd be somewhere else, or maybe not even existing at all. So yeah, my life indirectly is influenced by the women's rights, by the women's suffragette movements. That their sacrifice, their life that they lived, and tried to provide for other people, that matters to me. It matters to everybody. They just don't bother to understand this crap because they don't want to or choose not to. Ignorance, apathy, indifference, ignorance. I just don't care. And that's what puts me above them. If that makes me elitist, then I'm elitist. Stick that one in your, wherever you're going to stick it at. Yeah, not bad for a college boy, huh?